How to be less emotional. Spoiler alert. The way out is through. Something like that. The way to be less emotional is actually to learn how to feel your emotions more fully, express your emotions in healthier ways rather than suppressing them, repressing them, trying not to feel them, trying to be less emotional, which actually will just end up with them bottled up, finding their way finding their way out of you in unhealthier avenues than if you learn to express them in healthy ways. Our emotions are part of us. They are our interpretation of our body's responses to the incoming data that's going on, both from our environment and from our internal and from our external and internal environments, we could say. And to ignore those signals is to ignore a huge opportunity to understand more about ourselves and each other and what's happening in this life, and a huge opportunity to get better outcomes by through that understanding. By understanding ourselves and each other better, we can learn to predict things more accurately. We can learn to be more resilient when our predictions are off, as they inevitably will be sometimes. And ultimately, we will live happier, healthier, more fulfilling lives. Sure is pretty out here today. It's a beautiful sky. It's my foo dog sculpture. This is my 8-dragon. I call it my 8-dragon room. It's my back porch edition. It's not quite finished. I need to finish skinning it, I call it. That's what the pink layer is up there. This is Papercrete, by the way. In case you want to know, now you know. And some experimental bottle construction. Life is richer when we feel our feelings, when we allow them to arrive and leave as they will without struggling to not have emotions, and instead get curious, like, I wonder why I feel that way. I wonder why I think that way. And if it's, if we're having emotions that are unpleasant, that we don't like, there can be numerous reasons for that to happen. But the first step in changing that is to get curious and examine why those feelings are arriving, and what signals are triggering those emotions in you. A lot of times those will be the basics, like you're not getting your basic needs met. Food, shelter, fresh air, fresh water, movement, exercise. I recently adopted a dog, and she had puppies, and it's been amazing to refamiliarize myself with how important it is for dogs to get enough exercise. Otherwise, they don't act right. And the same is true of humans, but we pretend like that's not true, and then we wonder, why we're having all these emotions that don't feel good. Well, a lot of times it's because we're not getting enough movement, we're not getting enough touch, we're not getting enough play. Same thing as a puppy. We need that stuff. We need some beauty, we need some blue sky, we need some singing, we need some dreams. All that's part of being a human being, and important. And to pretend like it's not, and pretend like we should be, more robotic, have no emotions, is not only silly and sad, but it's also doomed to failure. We can't do it. It's not in our nature. When we force ourselves to do that, we end up neurotic, twisted up, dysfunctional. Remind you of anybody? Anyway, I wrote a book about it. You should find it on Amazon. It's called The Shift. Own Your Emotions, Own Your Life. I spent like 4 years writing it, rewriting it, writing it again, rewriting it again. That's how writing books goes. It's quite the process. A lot like this porch and many other things in my life. The process is where the good stuff is, where the learning is, where the stuff is. The end product is cool to have. I like that I like that I finished my book, and I hope that you read it, because it might help you. It helped me to write it, and now it gets to exist and maybe help other people. And this porch, it already does serve as a porch. It'll serve as a more beautiful porch when it's done. But the process of building it was its own thing, I guess, is what I am more trying to say about that. Yeah, the process isn't always pleasant, a lot like having our emotions, but it is what makes it all meaningful and worthwhile in the end. Anyway, I hope you like and subscribe. You never know what you're going to get around here. I hope you're loving whatever you're into. And I'll be seeing you soon. Ciao for now.